For more on what happens next, let's bring in Clarence Page, the Chicago Tribune editorial board member and a Pulitzer Prize-winning syndicated columnist. Good evening, Clarence. Thanks for joining us.
Good evening, Lawrence. Thank you. Happy to be here.
Clarence, the Senate Finance Committee has completed its work. It was a messy process. They finally got something out. The CBO is going to take a look at it over the weekend, do some cost estimates on it, tell us exactly how it affects the deficit. President Obama praised this bill, saying it was a milestone. And since it is the only bill that any committee has delivered that meets President Obama's requirements, isn't the Baucus bill now really the Obama bill?
Well, that's a good question, I guess. Yeah, I think, though, that it doesn't necessarily mean that it's going to be the bill that gets to President Obama's desk. Senator Rockefeller, Senator Schumer are still pushing for a public option. We don't have it. Senator Cantwell is offering sort of a quasi-public option that would be a state-based option, somewhat like the one in her home state in Washington. But the cost controls are a question. She raises a very good point about that. But if you go to the website for her state program there in Washington right now, you'll see that there's a notice that if you want to apply, your name will go on a waiting list because they're having trouble staying within their budget constraints. I'm sure questions are going to rise when whatever Baucus bill gets to the Senate floor. Questions are going to rise about cost containment, which is still a very real issue.
Clarence, the president likes to say we have 80% agreement on this legislation, but of course there's absolutely no agreement among the Democrats, especially between the Senate and the House, on how to pay for the bill, which is 50% of the bill. And do you see any movement from Speaker Pelosi's side that they're moving closer to the Baucus formula of taxing health insurance plans and cutting Medicaid by $500 billion and not doing this new top tax rate that Charlie Rangel has proposed on the House side?
Well, Senator Pelosi is being very open. She's listening to everybody. I mean, a parade of people through it. She's listening very carefully to all the factions here. But whether or not there's actual movement in that direction right now, it's hard to tell because there's really so much wrangling still going on. But I think she is going to try to put some kind of cost containment in there before it gets to the conference phase. Exactly how they're going to do it, though, still isn't very clear.
Now, Clarence, doesn't former Senator Bill Frist suddenly sound very reasonable now that he's no longer the Republican majority leader and talking about this legislation today, saying, you know, he would vote for it if he was still there. But if he was actually still there, even if he wasn't the majority leader, wouldn't he be feeling all that party pressure that they're bringing to bear on everyone in the Republican Party and line up against it just like everyone except Olympia Snowe, it seems, at this point?
Well, and he himself expressed dissatisfaction with the cost containment. It doesn't have enough, and that it would only cover, as he says, 20 million more people, not the 42 that you're looking for if you want to have something approaching universal coverage. So Bill Frist sounds like he's debating with Bill Frist, but if he's satisfied with the bill as it is, then I'm sure the insurance industry would be happy. But folks who are pushing for a public option, and let's remember, the Senate floor is more liberal than the Senate Finance Committee. This is what Senators Rockefeller and Schumer are talking about when they say that they're still going to try to push for something that offers some competition to the insurance industry and offers some choice on the part of the public so that they will be able to, as President Obama says, keep the private insurers honest and have the kind of competition that can try to bring costs down.
Well, we're a couple of weeks away of finding out just how liberal the Senate floor is. Clarence Page, Pulitzer Prize-winning columnist for the Chicago Tribune, thanks for your time tonight.
Thank you.